Chin, so I'm just going to wait again. Okay. So I'm just going to wait again for people to join the stream. Okay. The network. Sarah, hello. You're welcome. Network was so bad then. Even with everything. Okay, I need to change this thread now. Alright. Alright, so guys, again back to our live stream. Okay, the network was terrible, terrible, terrible. I had to just like go off. Okay. All right, Sarah, thank you so much. Chioma, come. So, guys, we're going to continue where we stopped. So, these are all of our pieces, our lining, our pieces. So, it was for those of you that don't know, it was the lining piece. That's where I padded. So, I padded the lining piece. So, to give it that fullness. So, you can see this was what we were doing before the network. So I was trying to sew our boning chambers so that the boning could go into it. So these are the boning for those of you that were not here. So these are the boning. We're going to pass them through, okay? So but that will be like later, not now. So what we're going to do now, I want to shape this blouse, okay? So when it comes to shaping, I'm going to keep my lining and then I'll work on the fabric piece. So I just want more people to come online first before I do that. So I'm just going to go ahead now and do that. So I want, first of all, when you want to do this, I want to measure, check out my full body measurement, okay? I want to check the full body measurement. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to place it this way and then I am going to check to make sure that everything is okay. Everything is okay before I continue. So the bust is 40. So I have my 40 here. So for the bust area, because I'm going to be adding, so I want the bust, I want everything, I want it well covered. So because we're going to be doing a corset back, that's we're going to be adding eyelets to our corset piece. Okay, so I'm just going to give, so what I'm going to do here for this one, okay, let me change my chalk. So I'm trying to measure. Thank you so much, Tiwalade. Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. So the first thing we're going to do, okay. So before we continue, so I want to shape this blouse before we couple it. We're going to couple them. So I'm doing an inseam coupling. For those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. Okay. So initially we're trying to sew all of these boning chambers. So we did the external boning chambers before the network went out. So in case you don't know how to sew, you can watch the previous video. Okay, Glory, welcome. So now I want to shape the blouse. Okay, so after shaping, we're coupling straight up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, so I have my client's measurements here. You can see the way I folded it. So this is how, so I'm just trying to look for the best way to place this so that you guys can see it properly. So the first thing I'm going to do I want to add a corset back to this, okay? So what when I mean corset back, so my back measurement, I'm going to reduce it. My bust measurement is going to still cover from here to here, okay? So the bust I'm making use of, the bust is 40. So I'm going to use my exact measurement. I'm not going to add any allowance to it. So just take note, okay? So that's my 40. Can you see? So you see the way I am measuring it from that point. I am not adding any extra allowance. I will not add allowance to it. So I'll just take out tiny inches. That's what I'll use to join the back and the front. So for those of you, okay, I'm thinking, yes, I'm going to put a boning on the side. So for those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. You guys should please sit on the lighting, okay? So I've marked my 40. That's 4 and 40 divided by 4, I have 10. And then the next point I'll come to, this is my under bust. You can see the way I did my boning. I placed one at the under bust here. That's for the two center here. And then this one on the sides ran from the top down. So you are going to place this here like your tape here. And then we're going to add our under bust measurement. So the under bust is 33. So for the under bust, I'm not going to use my exact measurement. So this is where I am going to reduce my measurement. I am going to add corset back to it, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do now, so that 33 that I have, I'm going to divide it. So 8 plus 8, that's 32. So I'm going to use 32 for that part. You understand? So I'm going to use, so this one I'm snatching it, let it be tight. I'm going to use 32 for that part. So I'm going to mark it that way. So can you see? So I've marked that. I've marked that. That's for the under bust. I'll just join it to this one like this. Can you see? You can see what I'm doing. I'll join it. And then I'm going to come to the tummy area like this. So the tummy area is 34. So that 34, I'm going to 34. That's 17 divided by, so I have like 8.5. So I'm going to take it like this. So for this one, I'm just going to use 8 inches instead of 8.5. So I took out half of an inch. So can you see what I am trying to do? And then for the down part, part, her hip is 30, 38. So because I want this, because it's going to be an inbuilt corset. So it's going to enter down, so I don't need it even if it is tight or it's not, even if it's loose or whatever. So for this I'm going to use, I'll just increase the length there, so just make it a little bit bigger. And then, so these are all of my lines. Just going to mark it like this, okay? So I've marked it on front. So now I want to carry the back. So this is my back piece. So I'll place them together like this. That's the two back piece. I'll place them together like this. So this part is where I am going to do all of my, what do you call it, all of my adjustments. So you can see this part now. I'm just trying to trim that top, the back. Yeah. So like I was saying, when I was doing the pattern drafting, I said this piece, there's a probability that I'm going to add a yoke to it. There's a probability. Depends on the client. When she comes for fitting, we're going to know. Okay. So I'll place that, I'll take that way. Sorry. And then I'm going to take this like this, okay? So like I said, my back piece. So my back piece, I'm still going to reduce my back very well. So I just need to trim this part now. So this is that zip allowance part. Can you see the way I'm trimming it? If you notice that my hands are not straight. I did not trim it straight. Do you understand? I did not trim it straight because it's not meant to be straight, okay? So that's for that. So the next thing, take this one. I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to place it like this. That's for the back piece. I don't want to, okay, let's do them separately. So I'll take this. So I want to cut out the front piece now for those of you that were here. So I'll cut that out that way. And then I have my piece here. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I want to, because once you join, you have joined. So that's it. So that is why I am trying to make sure that my piece is okay, that everything is okay. So another way you can do this, you can measure, you can just measure your back. Okay, okay, so this is our back. So I'm going to stitch the other bone in here after coupling. Just trying to check. Okay, can you see it already? So our back piece now, this is 10. So I'm just going to you just be busy and be going. You don't know that network have even disconnect. So I'm just trying to trim it. So now we are good to go. So now the next thing I want to do, I want to check out my length. So for this, I can actually leave the down part yet. I can leave the down part. So now I just want to double check my measurement first before I continue. Because when you are doing an inseam, you have to be very careful. Make sure you check everything that you're doing. So can you see? So I'm just trying to check my bust measurement, which is, by the way, is still big. It is still bigger. I am still going to trim it. Okay. Can you see the way I'm measuring it? I'm checking it. So you can see even when I stretch it, you see that it is 50 inches. So I'm just going to trim this out part out just a little bit. What I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to trim it, let it what I will use to stitch it, because I'm doing an inseam. So I just need what I will join it to the. So when it comes to inseam, if your client is not around, that's in most times if your client is around, I advise you don't do inseam, just sew it and place it inside better. You understand? Do that neat, that other normal neat sewing that you place it inside. It is better that way. But if your client is around and you have of the measurement, you can do an inseam fitting. So that it will be okay. But if your client is not around, please don't do it, or else you might it might land you into trouble. So now we are done with our piece. So the next thing we're going to do now, let's trim a lining piece. You have to. So when you are doing this, you make sure that you trim them, let them be the same. You understand? Let them be the same. Put it like this, okay? And then you place this one also like this. Trim them, let everything be the same, because you are doing an inseam. So everything, you need it well stayed and laid out. Okay? Can you see? Can you see where I'm trimming? I need to trim everything back and as in the linings will be the same, the fabrics will be the same. Can you see? So this one is done. So like I said, when an inseam, make sure you place everything together and then you are trimming everything is going to be the same, okay? Lining to lining, fabric to fabric, because that is what you want to do. So you want everything equal for this kind of corset. Can you see the way I'm trimming it? So that is done. The next thing now, let's start stitching. Let's couple our blouse together. So I'm checking which thread should I use. I think, okay, no, we are done with the back, so let's do the front. I forgot, I almost forgot. Most times I used to do that thing, I will just totally forget. So can you see? So the front, I'm going to place it like this. I'll place it, make sure that everything that I entered very well. Can you see? And then I'll spread the side, make sure that everything is okay, and then I will trim. So I cannot trim now. Can you see? So I've trimmed that. Can you see? Yeah, I'm using my hand to stretch them out before I trim it. So I'm trying to make sure that the lining, everything is the same. Okay. So it has to be the same. This part is a little bit longer, so you trim it out. Or else if you don't trim it like this, it's not going to align when. So I'll check it. I just want to open it like this and check it, okay? If not, it's not going to align. When you do them and you place this one to this one, this one to this one is going to be longer. And once it is longer, that becomes a problem. So now we are done with that. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to start stitching, okay? So first of all, I'll start with my lining. Let's stitch our linings together first, and then we'll stitch our fabric. So this is the side of my piece. So what I'm going to do now for the back, because the back is higher than, that is lower than the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to this point. I'll just mark like 1.5 inch down. So that is where I am going to start. I'll start stitching it from. I'll place it like this. I'll pin it to that point. And then I'll stitch it down. So I'm using like half of an inch. I'm not using quarter of an inch. I'm using half inch to stitch the side of the corset side. So can you see? I don't know what's scratching my face. It's like I'm not even sure. So the next thing, we're going to stitch the other side. So when you do it, make sure that you secure it, because this one is like final sewing, okay? you sew your lining first, and then before we now sew our fabric piece. So for those of you that are just joining us, thank you so much for joining. Hello, hi Adewe, thank you so much for joining. So can you see, so this is our back first. So I'll take this other part of the back, and then I am going to join it the same way. Remember, I came down by 1.5 inch, so I'll look for that 1.5 inch point, and then I will mark it. So that is where I will stitch. Why am I doing this? Because the back neckline is deeper than the front neckline, so that is why. Okay, so I'll place it. I'll use half of an inch to stitch it together. So when I am stitching, so I'll join it that way. So if you notice the down part of my blouse, you notice that it's not really, I actually did not trim it. I've not trimmed it. And then all this armhole area also I've not trimmed it. So can you see? So this is our front and our back piece together. So this is our lining piece. So now we're going to join our fabric piece together. Okay, so if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Please let me know where you're watching me from. Say hello, say hi. You can just drop, if you have questions, you can drop your questions. So now we're going to join our front piece. So you check them, you make sure that, so that is why it's always good for you to notch your line, your zip part. Even though we're not adding a zipper to this dress, but notch it so that it will help you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, just like we did with our lining, we're going to come down from this front piece. Just come down with like 1.5 inch. Why? Because the back neckline, the back is deeper than the front. So you take it like this, and then you place it like this. Can you see? So you place it, you pin it together. Okay, and then you are going to stitch. So I'm just trying to make sure that it is on the exact point. So that is why I am pinning it. I don't want it to shift. Okay, so I'm going to take it like this, and then I would use half of an inch. Can you see what I am doing? This one has moved. It shifted. It's no longer half of an inch. So the next thing, I'm going to join the other side. So because that one moved, I want to use the same exact point, because when you are, like I said, when you are doing an inseam, uh-huh, okay, okay, so that is why you have to be very careful. So I'll place it like this, and then I'm going to start sewing that corset back. I'll join it from that point like that. So can you see the way I'm placing it? So you double stitch it, just do like a back stitch, and then I am going to use, so I'm like using off almost like the entire part, so it's only the boning line that is here. Okay, all right. So the next thing we're going to do now, I want to join our front to the back. Okay, so we have brought our lining together, and then we're going to place them like this. So let me turn off my machine first, and then we are going to place them together. Okay, before then, let me shape the front of my blouse, the neckline. I want to shape the front. I want to give it like a small sweetheart neckline. So that is what I want to do. I want to give it like a small sweetheart neckline like this. Can you see what I just did? I just marked this way, then this will come like this. Okay, so I just want to be sure. So that it is not too deep. So what I have here is about 7 inches. So I'm just going to take it like this, and then I'll just so I have to be very careful while I'm doing this. I'm just going to open it and check it to make sure that front tally with front. So at this point, I think I'm going to make use of my mannequin. So we're going to have to flip. So I always like to do that. We're going to have to flip our what do you call it? Our camera. Okay. Let me turn my light first. Oh, no need. Let me bring my mannequin this way. I think that's it. Okay. So I always like to do this before I conclude. Do you understand? Before I conclude. So this dress form is a size 10 dress form.